that our fathers worked with the North. And I was in the forefront fighting against our fathers, Melford Okilo, Arod Dababria, and so on. And from what Obasanjo had done, and Ahmed Bola Tinubu has done, we, the younger generation, we go back and align with the North, because that is where Bayelsa was created by Abacha, Tafawa Balewa put in place Niger Delta Development Authority, and so on and so forth.
Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. That was Asari Dokubo, ex-Niger Delta militant leader and one of the strong voices of Niger Delta people. He had an interview with Arise Television. That 28-second interview I had was an excerpt from that interview, but it packed a lot in that 28 seconds. Now, he was asked about his new position, his latest position, that Niger Delta will no longer have political alliance with the Southwest. In an earlier video, say they will no longer, they don't trust Yoruba again because of that Yoruba betrayed Niger Delta. And it was in respect of recent development where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu scrapped Niger Delta ministry and other events that happened as a result of the actions and the inactions of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. So he was asked the question to clarify on that, the decision that they will no longer back Yoruba and all that. But he said that it has to do with what the treatment they have received from two Yoruba presidents. Now, talk about Obasanjo, he talked about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But he missed a lot of points in his saying that the North had been more beneficial. Alliance with the North had been more beneficial to the Niger Delta than any other relationship. That is not really true. The North has not been a very equal partner with the Niger Delta, and which I will show in this video, so that people don't get carried away by kind of statement coming out from Asari Dokubo, because he is trying to model up the recent and past political history between Niger Delta and the North. But there was something much more important. It was wrong of him to put Obasanjo and Tinubu in the same bracket. If he had said that they will no longer support Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it would have even made a lot of sense, because Bola Ahmed Tinubu has proven to be a bad manager of men and resources. He has put the country in the worst economic situation in a generation, as confirmed by credible authorities like the New York Times and the Financial Times of London. But for him to paint Obasanjo and Tinubu in the same brush is unfair. Obasanjo was a nationalistic leader. He was not a parochial leader. He was not a tribalist or a religious sentimental leader. He was a national figure who would have put together some of the best brains this country has ever assembled. It is not in the same bracket. Asari Dokubo is angry that Obasanjo put him in jail, and if you listen to the whole of the interview with Arise TV, he was talking about that Obasanjo wanted to kill him. I don't know how through that. For what? Because Obasanjo dealt with some non-state actors that wanted to make trouble in his administration. So among them was Asari Dokubo, who was at that time considered one of the militants of Niger Delta. So Obasanjo had to put him away, and he was not the only one. He put away Rafu Wazirike of Movement for the Actualization of the Sovereign State of Biafra, MOSOB. They were all put away at the same time, including Ganio Adams of Odua People's Congress. All these guys were put away. Obasanjo never wanted them to come and cause any problem for his administration. Okay, I'm not justifying it, but he shouldn't make his own case appear any different, okay, from all the other non-state actors that tried to trouble Obasanjo administration. He put them away. It was Yaradua that released them, all of them. And I don't know what he said that Tinubu helped. If not for Tinubu, he would have been killed by Obasanjo. I don't see where that. Why did he? Okay, what about the other ones that were not killed? Did Obasanjo kill my sub leader, who was wicked? Did Obasanjo kill what's his name? Ganio Adams of Odua People's Congress? Okay, but that is by the way. Now his assertion that the North had been more, they have benefited more from Northern relationship, is not true. That the North created, that Abacha created Bayelsa, is not really any big deal, because the truth of the matter remains that the North have been dominating Nigerian military. So they were the ones that created most of the states, from Yakubu Gowon to Murtala Mohammed to Babangida to Abacha. They were the ones that created all the states we have in Nigeria. It wasn't any special favor to the Niger Delta. Okay, Bayelsa could still have been created by any other person. Obasanjo was the only one that didn't, the head of state, that didn't create state. Obasanjo and General Aguiyi, they never created any states. Okay. Now coming to the issue of Niger Delta benefiting more from the North, I don't think so. Niger Delta, perhaps Asari Dokubo forgot, is the resource base of Nigeria, as long as we continue to rely on oil as the mainstay of our economy. But how many people from Niger Delta are benefiting from it or benefited from it throughout the alliance or so-called relationship with the North? We will see that it was the North that was benefiting, especially the elite in the North. When was the last time somebody from Niger Delta was made the minister, or senior minister of petroleum resources? The last time they did it, and the person did not live in disgrace, did not make sure they live in disgrace. You look at somebody like Ruwan Lukman, he was minister of petroleum resources for several years. There was no scandal, nothing. But look at what they did to Desiane Alice as minister. There is no kind of allegation they did not put on that woman, because she was from Niger Delta and she was in charge of the oil sector. All kinds of corruption are still hanging on her head. Okay, I'm not making excuses for that, but I'm just trying to let us look at the thing. They made sure that she was literally disgraced out of that place. She is now considered the most corrupt oil minister. Look at what happened to late Professor Tam David West. How long did he last as Minister of Petroleum Resources under General Babangida? How long? How long? Why did they sack him? They say he collected wristwatch as a bribe, allegedly. That was how it ended. This is oil, people that own the oil, literally. If Nigeria is a true federalism, of true federation, look at what they get from the system that is dominated by the northern hegemonists and the oligarchs. Then let us look at also the substantial part. How many Niger Delta people own oil well in Niger Delta? It has been alleged that most of the oil wells, the most profitable ones, the biggest ones, the best ones, are owned and controlled by the Northerners. So is that a kind of relationship for somebody to come on national television to come and celebrate that it has paid Niger Delta to be in the alliance with the North? How many Niger Deltans own oil well? Instead, what we have seen is that Niger Deltans, the people that own the oil, have been reduced to bidding for contract to be protecting the pipeline. Is that something to celebrate in a relationship between Niger Delta and the North? So if you look at it, it doesn't really show any benefit. Niger Delta is today a basket case because of lack of maintenance or development of the region and taking care of the environmental damage that has been associated with oil exploration and exploitation. And most of the time, the North were in charge when the multinational oil companies or the IOCs were raping the environment of Niger Delta, and they didn't do nothing to cause them or to force them to do remediation of the damage they have done to the environment of Niger Delta. Today, many of them are divesting out of Niger Delta. They are no longer, they don't want to be associated with Niger Delta. They claim that they are now doing offshore. When they are not doing offshore, they want to leave Nigeria. But already the environment they have damaged, what do? They are now selling off their assets to Nigerians to take over. And these Nigerians are not even taking over they just are accepting the assets and not taking also the liability that comes with it. Because when you acquire a company, you take on both the assets and the liabilities. Now, what are the liabilities that the multinational oil companies are leaving as they are going away from Niger Delta? They are leaving behind liabilities of environmental damage. Who will do the remediation? What had the North done to ensure that remediations were done under Buhari and all these years that the North had been in charge? So it doesn't really make sense for Asari Dokubo to say that our alliance with the North have been beneficial. Therefore, they are going back to the North. Okay. But another thing is also that I don't want to take him too seriously on this, because he is not the person that will determine the direction of the Niger Delta. I think Pandef stand a better position to say the direction the Niger Delta will go in 2027. Then another issue I want to also bring on board is that it was the Northern elite that also conspired in the killing of Kensaro Wiwa, okay, who was a Niger Delta hero and who fought for environmental remediation in the Niger Delta region. He was hanged, he was killed along with 8 other Ogoni leaders, and nobody's talking about that. Is that a benefit to the Niger Delta? How can a relationship between North and Niger Delta? And the same Abacha was responsible for the hanging or otherwise, whatever they did to Kensaro Wiwa and 8 others. Okay, it was Abacha that created Bayelsa that also handed that kind of terrible death to Kensaro Wiwa and the other Ogoni leaders. So Asari Dokubo conveniently forgot that. But that's why we have this channel, so that we remind people things that they don't want to talk about or that they think we have forgotten. Okay? Then, of course, as I said earlier on, it is wrong to paint Tinubu and Obasanjo in the same bracket. It is unfair, seriously unfair, because when you equate Obasanjo with credible leaders like Abraham Lincoln and all that, people who really did much for their people in terms of carrying everybody along. It's not, you can't paint him in the same brush with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, it was Obasanjo, despite what he said, all the things Asari Dokubo said against Obasanjo. Obasanjo was the man that made Jonathan from a tiny state of Bayelsa, okay, with just eight local government. Obasanjo made him the vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in recognition of the role that Niger Delta has played in Nigeria's economic development, and also as a compensation for the region's suffering over the years. That was how, if Obasanjo did not make Jonathan vice president, he could not have been president when President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua died on March 10th or May 10th, 2010 or thereabout. That was how Jonathan became president. But it was Obasanjo's handwork by ensuring that Jonathan emerged the vice presidential candidate. Now, who are the people that stopped Jonathan from taking over from Yar'Adua? You know the struggle, you know about the doctrine of necessity that the National Assembly had to invoke to allow Jonathan to even be acting president. It was the North that kicked against it. So what kind of benefit is that with a region that didn't even want, after the death of one of their own, they didn't want somebody from Niger Delta to be acting president until there was a doctrine of necessity, which they were literally forced to accept. And when Jonathan became president, the North fought him mercilessly. And they ensured that he was literally disgraced out of office. So what kind of relationship does Niger Delta benefit from that kind of relationship? When a Niger Delta managed to become president of Nigeria, they fought him mercilessly. Is that a cordial relationship? Is that what somebody should celebrate? How is that beneficial to the Niger Delta? Okay, that's true. And then you look at how they conspired with Bola Ahmed Tinubu and others to ensure that Jonathan was chased out of power. When you look at all those, you now understand why you shouldn't put Jonathan and Obasanjo in the same bracket. When you are talking about that, you are angry about what Niger Delta had gotten in return. If Asari Dokubo had made a case that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has failed Nigerians, okay, it would have made a lot of sense. Okay, instead of making it appear as if it is the Yoruba that failed because of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's not the failure of Tinubu is not the failure of Yoruba. We have to get that very straight. The Yoruba produced Obasanjo, and Obasanjo was not a failure by any means. Yoruba also produced Professor Yemi Osibanjo. Nigeria would have been in a better place if he's the one running this country. I can tell you that for free. So it has nothing to do with ethnicity. It is just that the person who he claimed he supported doesn't have the capacity to be able to run the Nigeria. And the phantom claim that he will transform Nigeria the way he transformed Lagos, which was not true. Well, he didn't do anything fantastic about Lagos. Lagos was created long before he was born, and Lagos had been capital of Nigeria since 1914. I don't see anybody could have been in charge of Lagos, and most of the things in Lagos were product of the federal government of Nigeria. So Asari Dokubo got it all wrong. If you want to say that you don't want Tinubu in 2027, it made a lot of sense. Okay? Because after all, even Niger Delta rejected Tinubu in 2027. Despite all the claim by Asari Dokubo, they work for Tinubu. Niger Delta as a whole rejected Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's a fact. Like the rest of Nigerians. Let us understand that over 15 million Nigerians voted against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Only 8.7 million, despite all the things INEC did. Only 8.7 million people said voted for him and he became president. He has the lowest victory margin in Nigeria's political history. So that's very clear. So asserted Dokubo is wrong. He could have based his reasons for not supporting Tinubu again because he has been a failure. He has failed. The economy has explained everything. And you can ask yourself, are you better off today than you were on May 29, 2023, when Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over? That should be the question every Nigerian should be asking himself. That's the question that I had expected Asari Dokubo to pose. Whatever is your position on this, the issues raised by Asari Dokubo, let's hear from you at the comment section in this video. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. Please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.